These days about 076 amphibious assault ship construction in the fire again. German experts expect 076 at the end of next year will be commissioned in the Navy, which is a new amphibious assault ship type. Why do you say so? Amphibious assault ship is generally responsible for landing operations. It can be regarded as a military roll-on/roll-off ship. The internal cabin storage is used for landing operations of armored vehicles, hovercraft, various types of artillery, in addition to participation in the combat marines, as well as a variety of types of shipboard helicopters, such as China's 075 deck is parked anti-submarine drones and straight 20 transport aircraft. The United States at the beginning of this century put forward the concept of Lightning aircraft carrier, especially the F-35 vertical takeoff and landing version of the emergence of this idea has become possible. Some military experts have speculated that the 076 could be the world's first drone carrier with operational significance. Judging from the satellite images, the 076 is larger than the 075, with an estimated displacement of more than 50,000 tons. On the deck of the 076, there should be an electromagnetic catapult track. The current satellite pictures from the presumption that the electromagnetic catapult track length is close to half the length of the deck. Some netizens through the picture comparison calculated that it is 110 to 135 meters, which is comparable to the length of the electromagnetic catapult track of the Fujian ship. On both sides of the 076 there are lifts, which can carry heavy shipboard aircraft weighing up to 35 tons to the deck, and with the help of electromagnetic catapult, manned shipboard aircraft are also able to complete takeoffs and landings. But here comes a question: how to land? Even with the installation of electromagnetic arresting ropes, the risk of landing a carrier aircraft is still too great because the deck length of the 076 is only about 260 meters, while the deck length of the Fujian ship is more than 330 meters. There is not enough safe distance to refly when landing. If the electromagnetic blocking cable didn't work, then the airplane could still be pulled back up without throttling down plus its own speed of landing on the deck. The Fujian ship can do it, as can the Shandong and Liaoning ships, but the amphibious assault ship's deck is too short to maneuver. Some people on the internet speculate that the J-35 may have vertical takeoff and landing capabilities, which would allow it to complete a safe landing in the case of a shorter deck. But this possibility is very small because the J-35 aerodynamic layout of the aircraft complete vertical takeoff and landing only one program. That is, the United States of America's F-35B type. Their vertical takeoff and landing is not a shot in the head to come up with. But the Soviet Union and the United States in the last century spent a lot of effort to find the only feasible program. However, vertical takeoff and landing fighters can only be a single engine. The F-35 has only one F-135 medium-sized culvert turbofan engine, while the J-35 has two, which will be extremely unstable during vertical landing and takeoff, and the current level of human computers cannot deal with the massive amount of data required for this kind of flight control, and if not careful, it will tumble in the air. The only possibility, then, is that the 076 will carry fixed-wing unmanned fighters, such as the Attack 11, which is already in service, and the mysterious Feihong 97A, which was unveiled at the 2022 Zhuhai Air Show. The Attack 11 is small, lightweight, and cheaply built, and has better stealth performance than the J-20, which is almost undetectable by radar. Because it is a flying wing layout, it is destined to not be able to supersonic cruise, but for the low intensity of the implementation of the ground attack mission is completely sufficient to be competent. 076 how to change, and ultimately to perform the capture of the island landing operations. Attack 11 is a good helper. Feihong 97A belongs to the air superiority type of UAV. It is fast, able to short takeoff and landing. This short takeoff and landing to draw focus. It is on the 076, then mainly with the enemy air-manned fighter against each other. Because there is no pilot, so the Feihong 97A overload can be very large. 10G action can also be done. Relative to manned fighters' advantage will be more obvious. The catapults on the 076 can also catapult the AWACS Air Marshal 600, which is slow, has a large lift-to-drag ratio, and doesn't need too long a deck to stop when landing. In addition to being a drone mothership, there is another important point of view on the 076. Through satellite images, we can see that the central part of a large hole has not been sealed so far, which is the powerhouse of the 076. According to the construction process of the previous 075, by this time the powerhouse has been encapsulated, but the 076 does not, which means that the 076 is using a completely new power system. This is actually a certainty because it's a much larger tonnage. 075 uses diesel engines. For 16 PC2-6B diesel engines can provide 65,000 horsepower. 076 may be using gas turbines to generate electricity, and then use electricity to drive the whole ship, at the same time to the energy storage equipment power supply for electromagnetic catapult energy storage. The entire hull uses a medium voltage DC integrated power management system, which will be very energy efficient and could increase the mileage of ocean voyages. About how the 076 is used, there are various speculations on the internet. Some military bloggers believe that the 076 is when the Fujian ship's assistant, above the carrier aircraft only fly not to land, to ensure that the Fujian ship's carrier aircraft in the loss of the ship can still be in a full state. This is actually a bit redundant. The fighters have taken off. Why not go directly to combat? What's the point of replenishing the Fujian ships? Complicating a simple issue.